Hello everyone, TimeToGrind here, and today I wanted to talk about hacking and cheating in single-player games, because as most of you guys could probably agree, people that hack and cheat in multiplayer games like, say, Rainbow Six Siege, or CSGO, or Dota, or League of Legends, or Call of Duty, any multiplayer game that has other people involved, anyone that hacks or cheats in those games are terrible human beings. I mean, if you have a friend who you catch or you know is hacking or cheating in multiplayer games, then I recommend you walk up to them, slap them across the face as hard as possible, and then don't talk to them again for the rest of their lives, because they are not people, I promise you. They are aliens that have come to, I don't know, ruin humanity. That is how awful of people are. And if you somehow are watching this video and you are one of these aliens that, you know, somehow enjoy hacking and cheating in multiplayer games and making people, ruining people's experiences, I got a tip for you. Now, see, if you go to Walmart, there's like a grape flavored bleach. And if you are one of these aliens who enjoy ruining other people's fun, that bleach won't harm you. It will actually enhance your superpowers. So buy as much as possible of it and drink as much as possible. But no, obviously, people that hack in games are pretty terrible human beings, and they are the scum of the earth. But obviously, probably, you know, I'm not serious in saying that they should all, you know, die or whatever. But, you know, hackers and cheaters in multiplayer games are terrible. But somehow, there's a decent amount of people that seem to share the hatred I have for hackers and cheaters in multiplayer games, but they share the hatred for people that do that in single-player games. So what I mean by that, you know, because you might be asking, how do you cheat or hack in a single-player game or something like that? And like, as an example, and obviously some of this is a little subjective, but, you know, whatever, there's, we don't know that word. But as an example, in Binding of Isaac Rebirth, obviously you guys probably know about it, it's pretty popular, but the most recent expansion was kind of a mini expansion called Afterbirth Plus, and one of the biggest things it brought to the table was it brought workshop support, so mods and stuff like that, and you could download mods off the Steam Workshop and stuff like that, and for the longest time, if you installed any mods and they were active, you could not gain achievements at all. And obviously, for me, one of the biggest, like, most fun parts of Binding of Isaac, same with a lot of other people, is to try to get all the achievements, because there's achievements and unlocks, and, you know, like, for each different character, there's, like, 8 different unlocks to get, and, you know, there's other achievements, there's challenges, all this stuff that unlocks new items that you can find in the rest of the game, because it's a, you know, really big roguelike. I'd say it's, honestly, one of the best roguelikes that I've ever played. But either way, if you downloaded mods and played them, you could get achievements, which prevented people like me from, I didn't even bother. I had the expansion, but I didn't install any mods because I was trying to, you know, get all the unlocks and everything. And then they made an update where if you installed mods and activated them, you were still able to get achievements as long as you had killed Mom's Heart, I believe, which is a little difficult for newer players, but once you get the hang of it, it's like the easiest thing ever. You can do it in like 5 minutes. And I guess they did that because they wanted people to experience the game firsthand the way it was meant to be played before, you know, installing mods, which I can kind of understand, but, you know, I still feel like they didn't necessarily need that. But when they made this change, so many people, like, flipped out. They're like, oh my god, you know, I worked so hard on all these achievements, and now people are just going to install mods that, you know, give them invincibility, or they're just going to spawn in a bunch of, you know, special crazy items at the beginning and just become super OP, you know, right off the bat. And they're going to get all the achievements. Oh no. And first of all, if you really are wanting to just get all the achievements, people can already do that. There's like a program, I don't know what it's called. It's called like Steam, like Achievement Manager or something like that. You could just download it, you put in, you know, your profile or whatever, you say, give me all the achievements for a game, and it gives you all the achievements of the game. Like, it gives you all the Steam achievements, and on your profile, it looks like you've 100% of the game. And obviously, I don't find fun in doing that. I would never do that, but that's because I don't enjoy that way. But so, if you're just worried that people are going to just get the achievements without earning them, people can already do that. People have been able to do that forever. You know, but if people that want to just become insanely OP and make themselves invincible and just breeze through the game, that's not affecting you. You know, although I think that wouldn't be fun personally at all, some people probably find fun in that, because that's why some of those mods are there. And, you know, because of the fact that it's a single player game, it doesn't, in fact, it doesn't affect you or me. Just leave them alone. Just let them do what they want. It doesn't affect you. Now, obviously, you know, like I said, some of the reasons some people might want to download these cool mods and stuff like that just make you invincible is to have this, like, power trip, you know. They want to just, you know, be super powerful and just destroy everything. And you might be saying, like, well, you know, Holden, that's why people aimbot in Rainbow Six Siege and stuff, because, you know, they just want to feel more powerful than you. The problem is it doesn't matter. You're negatively affecting the 9 other people you're in the match with. So that's why that's not okay, but having like a power trip in another game is 100% okay, because you aren't affecting anyone. You just bought a single player game, and you should have the right, without judgment, to, you know, just enjoy the game the way you want to. But if you're affecting other people, like in a multiplayer game, obviously you lose that right. You're not allowed to just do whatever you want because you bought the game and that's the way you want to play it. And this kind of goes a little bit into, you know, Fallout and Skyrim and stuff like that. I never really played those games too much, so I haven't really experienced firsthand, you know, all the mod scenes and stuff like that, the Nexus mod managers and all that good stuff. But you know, the mod communities are gigantic. So, you know, I've seen so many times on like Reddit and, you know, different forums and crap, is people are like, oh, you know, I really like, you know, this one power armor mod, you know, or whatever, and, you know, blah, 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 blah. And someone's like, oh, wow, you're not even playing the original, you know, you're just cheating, you know, whatever. Or, like, say someone really likes, you know, Fallout or something. Keep in mind, I haven't played too much, but say they really like Fallout, but they don't like all the radioactivity stuff, or, you know, or as a better example, say they don't like those, like, really spooky, like, death claw traps, I think that's what they're called, and they install a mod to remove them, you know, because they really don't like facing them. You know, that technically, yes, that's cheating. That is 100% cheating, but the thing is, it's a single player game. It doesn't matter. Now, if they start trying to, like, go up in your face and they're like, oh, you know, I can beat Fallout, you know, easily in like 5 minutes, it's the easiest thing ever, and you find out that they're installing a mod that, you know, lets them have no clip and can one-shot everything, yeah, maybe you could be like, yeah, I think you know, that you don't deserve that. Like, if they're trying to brag about their abilities, you probably have a little room to kind of, you know, throw some punches about them installing mods and, you know, hacking and whatever, not hacking, but cheating, in that circumstance. But if they're just, you know, wanting to play a casual run of Fallout, and they just don't like those spooky things, and they remove them with a mod, yeah, they're cheating, but they're not affecting anyone. They're not bragging that, you know, they're able to beat the game within 5 seconds, and they're not, you know, they're not hurting anyone. So it doesn't, I don't understand why people get mad. And it kind of goes a little bit into a whole different huge discussion, but kind of difficulty in video games. Like, you know, say Cuphead, it's really, really hard, and there's not really an easier mode, a more accessible mode, and there were a lot of people that are like, this game is actually too hard for me, but I want to be able to play it, you know, and then you had this, like, just massive hardcore fan base that were like, oh, no, you got to play it the intended way, or don't play it at all, or anything like that. And obviously, you got to weigh in, you know, if a developer, you know, say it happens all the time for, like, Darkest Dungeon and everything, if a developer wants their game to intentionally be hard, is it right for a player to, you know, like, should the developer put in options to make the game easier, even if they think that's breaking the entire concept of the game? There was one game, it was called, like, Wasteland or something like that. It was like a roguelike first-person shooter that was kind of, like, all pixelated. It kind of reminded me of, the graphics reminded me of, like, Borderlands. It was, like, cel-shaded. And once you're in a level, it kind of works similar to Binding of Isaac, but, you know, first person. If you're in a level for too long, this, like, guy comes in and he, like, just destroys you if he finds you. And, you know, the game had a bunch of negative reviews because, you know, people were like, this game would be so much fun without it, I don't want to be timed. And I shared that opinion, but the developer was, like, so adamant. They were like, nope, this is a fundamental part of the game, and it's staying, and I'll never add an option to get rid of it. And, you know, obviously, like, is it okay if someone then, you know, somehow downloads a mod to get rid of it? Because there's mods to get rid of that thing in that game. And, you know, obviously that's still cheating, but it's still a single player game that's not really affecting anyone that they're playing it like that. You know, a lot of the developers are kind of scared because they're like, well, if you remove it and you're not playing the game intendedly, as intended, and you end up not liking the game, it might be because you're not playing the game as intended. Like, I made the game this way so people would have this type of experience, and if you're breaking all of it and then having a terrible experience, it's not necessarily the game's fault. They're suggesting it might be your fault for kind of ruining the game mechanics. And I can see that a little bit, but that overall, that entire kind of discussion is such a broader, more different topic to just simply, is it okay for people to hack and cheat in single player games? And my blanket answer is yes, as long as it's not affecting anyone else and they're not trying to brag and gloat about all their accomplishments, then sure, don't bother. But overall, in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is hacking multiplayer, bad. Hacking single player, it's okay. Don't judge people. But that's pretty much it. If you guys enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like down below and subscribing to see more content every Wednesday and Sunday, as long as I'm not dead that day. Just ignore last Wednesday. You'll see a video. But, more importantly, if you guys have, opinions on the topic, I would love to hear them in the comments down below. Definitely if you have a strong feeling one way or the other, if you think, it's not okay to hack in, single player games, let me know in the comments down below, because I really like talking to you guys and seeing, your opinions on things and stuff like that. And that's what's cool about being human, is we all got different opinions. Some people's opinions I can't really agree with, but we all have different opinions. It's kind of cool. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and see you guys next time.